In the quaint little town of Eldridge Hollow, nestled between twisted pines and the desolate remnants of a forgotten film studio, stood an old cinema that locals had long ceased to visit. Eldridge Theater had once thrived in the 1960s, with lively audiences filling its crimson velvet seats, but time had not been kind. And like the movie that no longer screened, it faded into obscurity, its doors locked, shrouded in a veil of dust and age. As legend had it, nestled deep within the remnants of the studio was a hidden vault containing unaired movies, films so dreadful that the studio executives deemed them too horrific for public consumption. Whispers of lost reels echoed throughout the town, tales of cursed footage capable of ensnaring viewers in its gory grasp, trapping their souls in an infinite cycle of torment. Curiosity was a powerful mistress, though, and for Ben, a budding filmmaker eager to make his mark, it was overwhelming. The thought of uncovering these lost pieces of cinema consumed him, day and night. Armed with a flashlight, recording equipment, and a heart full of ambition, Ben gathered his nervous friends, Lily, Jake, and Marissa, for an adventure that seemed to be thrilling but was draped in an ominous warning. "Are we really doing this?" Lily questioned as they approached the crumbling facade of the Eldridge Theater, the paint peeling like the remnants of forgotten dreams. "It's been abandoned for decades. What if we're not alone in here?" Ben waved off her concerns. "It's just an old theater. We stick together, we'll find the vault, grab the footage, and have the scoop of a lifetime." The air was thick with nerves as they pushed open the heavy doors, which creaked like the tortured souls they feared they might find inside. The lobby was dimly lit, the smell of mildew and decay invading their senses. A tattered poster for a long-lost horror film hung askew on the wall, its color so faded that only the word "Scream" remained discernible. With each cautious step deeper into the theater, the silence became palpable, amplifying their unease. They ventured into the projection room, the last bastion of creativity, now merely a graveyard of broken machinery and crawlbars. Ben's heart raced as he stumbled upon a dusty box labeled unaired reels. It was as if fate had led him directly to them. "Guys, you need to see this!" he exclaimed, excitement lighting up his eyes. He pulled the reels from the box, their labels scratched and smeared. Titles like Eldritch Horror, The Dreaded Conjurer, and Screams of the Forgotten stood out ominously. "We shouldn't be messing with this stuff," Jake warned, his voice a whisper. "What if it really is cursed?" "Come on, it's just a movie," Ben insisted. "Let's just check one out. Film our reactions." After much prodding, the group reluctantly agreed, their curiosity outweighing the warning bells chiming in their heads. They set up an old projector they had found, its age matching that of the reels they were about to witness. The film flickered to life, the screen crackling with static. What unfolded before their eyes was pure madness. Scenes of unspeakable horror, grotesque characters howling in agony, and vivid depictions of human despair that felt almost planetarily wrong. The sights were haunting, screams echoing in their ears long after they had faded. As the movie reached its climax, the room grew impossibly cold. Shadows began to dance across the walls, taking on grotesque shapes that witnessed synchronous torment. Marissa shrieked, but her sound was swallowed by an unnatural roar emanating from the projector as it twisted its narrative. The footage no longer controlled by celluloid, but by a darker force. The air thickened with tension, and Ben felt a heaviness on his chest, a consuming dread. Suddenly, the screen flickered violently, and the faces from the film began to bleed into their reality. Eyes wide with terror mirrored their own, mouths contorted in silent screams that echoed still. The friends staggered back, horror-stricken, grasping each other as the malevolent grip tightened around them. Panic set in the room, seemed to explode. They were no longer watching. They were a part of it, trapped in the relentless cycle of fright. The reel spun endlessly, projecting the unimaginable horrors of the previous decades into their minds. Each frame sapped their energy, transmuting fear into a tangible force, tugging them into the void. In a last chance effort, Ben fumbled with the projector, desperate to turn it off. But the darkness closed in, the shapes forming figures and lunged at them. He could barely breathe, barely think. With trembling hands, he yanked at the power cord until it finally tore free from the wall. Silence crashed over the room, broken only by their ragged breaths. Grasping for air, they fell to the floor, engulfed in the shadows of what they had just witnessed. But as the fight left his friends, Ben felt an all-consuming presence lingering behind him, a whisper in his ear that hissed, "You will not escape." Days turned into weeks, but the friends who delved into the forgotten vault of screams were never seen again. Eldridge Hollow kept its secrets well. Haunted theater standing silent, waiting for others foolish enough to uncover the tortured celluloid that lay dormant inside. From the dark corners of that cursed realm, a new set of whispers would call out, beckoning the next wave of thrill seekers to discover the horrors of the Eldridge movie theater.